This is lesson 44, solving rational equations. Okay, we're doing the same thing as yesterday. It's going to be a little bit more difficult, where you're going to have to solve using the X box. So the steps are the same. So if you're on the video, pause them if you want to write them down. Here we go, number 1 and 2. Just watch right now. I'll give you a chance to write, there will be plenty of time, okay? I'd rather you watch and then you write later, okay? So on number 1, we have 1 is equal to n minus 3 over n plus 6 plus 4n plus 28 over n plus 6. So the goal, remember from yesterday, we want to cross multiply, but before you cross multiply, you need to have one fraction equal to another fraction. So 1 on the left-hand side is its own fraction. It's like saying 1 over 1. The right-hand side, though, has two different fractions being added. Thankfully, though, what do you notice about these two denominators? They're the same, right? So I could combine them. We already have a common denominator here, so I could write 1 over 1, and then we got n plus 6 over here. So I'm going to rewrite this with a new common denominator of n plus 6. The left side is 1 over 1 still. It doesn't change. I don't need it to look like n plus 6. It's its own fraction. And then our numerator, I have to carefully add it together. We got n plus 4n is 5n, right? Then I have negative 3 plus 28 is positive 25, okay? Now we're good. Now I'm going to start cross multiplying. 1 times 5n plus 25 is 5n plus 25. 1 times n plus 6 is n plus 6. Then I'm just going to solve. This is just like a pre-algebra problem. We're going to combine like terms. Got 4n, and I'm also going to subtract 6 on both sides. Plus 19 is equal to 0. Then I'm going to subtract 19 on both sides and solve this. And we get n is equal to negative 19/4. Okay? I can't simplify this fraction, so I'm all done. Now, what did I forget to do here? I forgot to check for excluded values. So, excluded values at the beginning, what was my only excluded value? It was n can't equal to negative 6, right? But is negative 6 even one of my answers? No. So, are there any extraneous solutions here? No, we're all done. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that's number 1. So again, what did I do? Same thing as yesterday. Identify the excluded values. N is equal to negative 6. 2, make each side of the equation over one common denominator. This side has a common denominator of 1. The right side has a common denominator of n plus 6. So I did that here. Then step 3, cross multiplied. I got this new equation here. And then I combined like terms to solve, and I got n is equal to negative 19/4. And then step 6, check for extraneous solutions. There weren't any extraneous solutions. The only excluded solution is negative 6. Okay? Good? Number 2. Number 2 now. Number 2 has x plus 3 over this whole trinomial. Oh no, it's so scary. Minus 1 over x plus 8 is equal to 1 over x minus 1. Okay? So this denominator here is a trinomial. Can I do an x box on this? Yeah. Would you all agree that, and I could even do this in my head, right? I could say this is x plus 8 times x minus 1. Okay? You all agree that that's the factored form? So I could even rewrite this on my paper. I could even erase that first initial trinomial and rewrite it like so. So now I'm noticing that I got x plus 3 over this denominator has two binomials being multiplied. So this left side has an x plus 8. This side has an x plus 8. Good. This side has x minus 1. Does this other fraction have x minus 1? No. So I'm going to have to multiply that binomial in. So I'm going to multiply this by x minus 1 and the numerator by x minus 1. Oh, what happened there? Okay. And then I start working this out. Over here I got x times negative 1 times x. Or I'm sorry, x minus 1 times x. Negative 1 times x is negative x. So what's x minus x? 0. There aren't any x's, okay? Then we got 3 minus negative 1 times negative 1, which is like saying plus 1. So what's 3 plus 1? 4. Okay? This is where it gets a little tricky here on the numerator. The denominator, I'm going to write my common denominator, which is, I'm going to multiply it back out. It's x squared plus 7x minus 8, which is equal to, and then my right side, I had a common denominator of x minus 1, so I'm just going to leave that alone. Okay. Now I'm going to cross multiply. Okay. X squared plus 7x minus 8 times 1 is going to be itself. So I'm just going to copy that down. Then I'm going to have 4 times x is 4x. 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. Okay. Then I'm going to combine like terms, subtract 4x on both sides and add 4 on both sides. When I do that, I'm going to get x squared plus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0. I'm going to do an x box again. What this factors out to be, or I can factor this out as x minus 4, x plus 4 times x minus 1 is all equal to 0. Zero product property. I'm going to write this out and solve. We got x is equal to negative 4 and x is equal to 1. Okay? Am I done here? What did I forget to do at the beginning? What step? Step 1. What did I forget to do, everyone? Excluded values. So predict, what are my excluded values here? Well, one of them is going to be x is equal to, I just have to look at my original denominators. With x plus 8, x minus 1, right? So one of them has to be negative 8. So x can't be equal to negative 8, and the other one can't be equal to 1. These are excluded values. This one is also the same as here. This is already included. This one's included too. So looking at my final answer, is negative 4 an excluded value? No. So we're good. That's definitely a solution. X equal to 1, this solution. Is this an excluded value? Yep. We can't use that because it's an excluded value, so we cross that out. We'd say that's an extraneous solution. So even though we want it to be a solution, it's not a solution. It's an extraneous solution. Okay? Does that make sense? Okay, good. So let's have, you talk today, let's have 2s talk today first about number 1. So 2s are talking first, so if you're on this side of your row, you're at 2. 2s are talking to 1s about this first, and then 1's still at 2's about number 2. Ready, set, go. Okay, so number 3. This one is similar to yesterday, so number 3 I'm gonna have you do. Okay, I'll start you off. Is the left side of the equal sign, do they have a common denominator here? Yes or no? Now, what's the denominator under the 1? 1. So what's a common denominator I can use on the left-hand side? 7n. Okay, so I'm going to multiply the denominator by 7n because the denominator is 1. Okay, so I'm going to hand it off to you. I'll give you 2 minutes to finish this one off. 2 times 7n. 2 times 7n is 14n. Negative 7n times 7n is negative 49n squared. And then I cross multiply again. 7n times 4 is 28n. Okay? Now I'm going to combine like terms, putting my n's together. I got negative 49n squared minus 14n is equal to 0. What can I factor out of here?
Negative 7n.
Negative 7n. Okay? So negative 7n is equal to 7n plus 2. So one of your answers is going to be n can't equal or is equal to 0, and then the other one n is equal to negative 2/7. Some of you were so close. Like,
That's what you said. I know what to do right there. I know.
you forgot to put it equal to 0. That's all you did. Okay, so now, am I done? Am I done here?
No.
What do I have to do still? What's an extraneous solution? What? 0, right? I forgot to do the extraneous solution because the only one that doesn't work is 0. Okay? Okay, so now you shouldn't have erased your boards. I want you to show your neighbor where you made a mistake, where you got stuck. If you got it right, say I got it right. I feel good about myself. Like you did good. You go, girl. It's good. Did you do that all by yourself? Look at you. It's a new semester. I think this semester will be awesome.
Mike can do awesome.
Yeah. Okay. So this, hey, I want this one in your notes, please. I want you to write this one down on the left side of your paper, and I want you to leave a little space on the right side because I'm going to show you a different way to do this. Okay? Okay, I'll give you a minute to write this down. Please stop talking. Everyone's writing this down. Students, please quiet down. Okay, while you're wrapping this up, I'm going to show you on the right-hand side. I'm just going to start the problem up again. I want to show you a second way to look at these kinds of problems. The way I showed you originally is the correct, complete way to do the problem, okay? Okay, so, looking at the right side, you could just watch right now. You still have to, on the second way, you still have to have a common, or make each side an equal common denominator, okay? So the left side has to have its own common denominator, and the right side does, okay? But look at what happens here on this problem. What do you notice about... Okay, what do you notice about both sides of this equation? Turn your neighbor, what do you notice about both sides of my equation? Okay, they got the same denominator. Do you all agree? Okay, looking up here. What operation is the fraction sign? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide? What operation is the fraction bar? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Divide. So would you agree that both sides are being divided by 7n? Yes. Do you all agree?
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so what's the opposite of dividing by 7n? Good. What happens when you divide, or you multiply, or you do the inverse operation? What happens to the 7n's? They cancel out. So watch what happens. Here's a different way to look at it. When the denominators are the same, look at my screen right now. Eyes up here. I'm going to multiply by the 7n because that's the inverse operation. Look what happens to each side. Disappears. So all I'm left with is 2 over 7n is equal to 4. And then I could solve. I subtract 2 on both sides. So you got negative 7n is equal to 2. Divide both sides by negative 7, and so n is equal to negative 2 sevenths. Isn't that the same answer I got the first time? Okay? It's so much easier. Good. Okay, so I want you to turn your neighbor. Let's have ones till the twos. Ones are talking right now about how did I do this new way to do this. You're just talking right now. Ones till the twos. How did I do this? Ready, set, go. Okay. Okay, now eyes up here before you write down. What's missing between this first answer, the first way through, and I'm sorry, the first time through and the second time through? What's different? What's that? Okay. Do you all see that? Did you all hear what Zach said? What's different from the first problem and the second problem? Again, what's missing?
You didn't get the n equals 0.
Did I get n equals to 0 here? No. So what does that mean? Did I get all the solutions by doing the second way? No. So what is n is equal to 0? What kind of solution? Extraneous solution. Okay. So the second way through, even though it's easier, is it accurate? No. But what's a way that you could predict what the extraneous solution is? Twos tell the ones. How could you predict what an extraneous solution is? Twos are talking. Okay. So, what's the way you could predict extraneous solutions? What's the way? I heard someone say it. Excluded values. Do excluded values always mean extraneous solutions? Yes or no? No. No. Look at number. I'm going to go back to number. Look at number 1. Was my excluded value an extraneous solution? No. So do your excluded values always prove to be extraneous solutions? No. Y'all follow me? So when I do number 3, I got a question for you. What if I wanted to know the extraneous solutions? Are you just going to look at the excluded values, or which way would you do it? The first or second way?
Second.
What if... What? Okay, let's try this again. Everyone. If I wanted you to tell me on a test what the extraneous solutions are, would you do it the first method or the second method? Good. What happens if I didn't care? I just wanted you to give me the solution to the... Second, because extraneous solutions are not solutions. They're not solutions. They're extraneous. That means they should be, but they're not. Okay? Do you all get understanding? Why did I teach you the second way? Isn't this way faster? Do you all agree that this way is faster?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I want you to look at number 2 again. When we cross multiply, did we have the same denominator? Look here. Hey kids, I know you're talking a lot. I'm really over it, okay? I picked new seats, but I'm going to move you. When I have, look at number 2, the denominators, are they the same?
No.
Can I multiply by the LCD? No. Okay. So you're going to have to cross multiply. Alright, so on your notes, I want you to go back to, write this one down to number 3, right next to number 3, doing the second way, okay? Go. Here we go. I want you to work on number 4 now, okay? Number 4. This one you're going to work on by yourself. I'm going to get you started though. Let's look at our excluded values. What are the excluded values here? What's one possible excluded value? Nope. Oh yeah, 0 is 1. Negative 3. But where did you get 0 from? Good. Look over here. Can we factor this out? Let's put this to the side here. I'm going to put it up to here. We have to check for excluded value. So a squared plus 3a is equal to 0. Can I factor this out? Yeah, what does this become? A times?
A plus 3.
Good. So that means one of my excluded values is 0, and the other one has to be negative 3 again, right? Y'all agree? Good. You did get me. Well done. Okay? So, I want you to look at this differently. I'm not going to rewrite this, but what is another way to look at this? Isn't this the same way as a squared plus 3a, the same thing as a times a plus 3? Do you all agree? Okay, so this had a plus 3. Does this denominator have a plus 3?
No.
Yeah.
Who said no?
I did.
Okay, does it have a plus 3?
Oh, yeah.
Let's look at it again. I want you don't always have to rewrite everything, but can we, instead of looking in our minds, let's look at this. Isn't this the same thing as looking at it like this?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so this has a plus 3. Does this side have a plus 3?
Yeah.
Good. This side has an a, right? Does this side have an a? No, so what do I multiply this side by? A, okay, so I'm going to multiply this left-hand side by a, okay? So I'm going to stop you, or not stop you, I'm going to stop teaching you right now. I'm going to have you finish up this problem for me. I'll give you 2 minutes. Just to finish up the lesson, you should have multiplied the first one by a, and then you should have had this common denominator. Now, at this point, you should cross multiply, but before you cross multiply, can we do the shortcut here? Yeah. Yes or no? Yes. Yes. What's the common denominator on both sides of the equal sign? A squared plus 3a. So what's the opposite of dividing a squared plus 3a? Good. So multiply both sides by that quantity. And then it's pretty easy. At this point, this is really, this problem right here, at this point, is pre-algebra. This is like 8th grade, 7th grade, okay? No, I'm telling you. So you should be able to do this. What's the answer? It should be a is equal to 17, okay? Now, are there any extraneous solutions here? Yes or no? We're not leaving yet. Are there extraneous solutions? Yeah, there are. There are, but does this shortcut show us the extraneous solutions? No. Okay, so which method would you use to get extraneous solutions? First one. Okay, that's it. Make sure you do your homework tonight. Tomorrow I'm checking last night's and tonight's. Make sure you use complete sentences. Those problems with sentences are worth 4 points each. So, see you later.